What's interesting is that whenever I start the live video, what I see is myself. I see a reflection of myself, looking back at myself. Hey, when you're coming in, like last time, if you could say where you're from, tell me where you're from. I really enjoy hearing the different places people are from. Just type it in a little box and just say hello and where you're from, even if you are coming in on the playback. Let's all make that connection with each other geographically. So I see myself reflecting back at myself. And what's interesting, hey Heather, welcome in Alaska. What's interesting is that I'm talking to you, but I don't know what you look like necessarily, but I'm looking at myself while I'm talking to you. And this is really beautiful because the truth is that you are myself, right? Sunny South Africa, wonderful. Hi Karen, it's great to have you back here. So it occurs to me, what if anytime we were talking to someone else, our brother, our sister, our mother, our father, our son, our daughter, our lover, welcome JDV, our lover, our husband, our wife, our neighbor, what if any time that we were talking to someone else that we actually saw ourselves. We saw ourselves in the other, in the eyes of the other, in the heart of the other. Because that's what's happening with me. I'm talking to thousands of people in these videos, and it just occurs to me that every time I'm talking to thousands of people in these videos, I'm looking at myself. I look into the phone, I see myself looking back at myself. I don't actually see the physical faces of all of you. So it's this natural expression of reflecting the love that emanates outward to you as a reflection of me. And what a beautiful exercise for us to recognize and realize as we move through the day. You know, Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. And people put a lot of effort and struggle and force, manipulation, control to try to figure out how to do this so they don't commit a sin. You know, so that how do you love your neighbor as yourself? And the deeper realization that I point people to is that, hey Patty, what a great group joining us today. Maybe this is a good time earlier in the morning on the East Coast of America. Bring some beautiful people to join us live. So the recognition and realization is that the reason Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself, love your enemies, is because your neighbor is yourself. Your neighbor is yourself. You're looking back at yourself. When you look at your neighbor, you're looking back at yourself. You're seeing your own reflection. Your enemy is yourself. Now that's amazing. Hi, Sylvia. Welcome back to Munich. Your neighbor is yourself. So there's an opportunity, there's an invitation, there's a gift whenever someone triggers us to embrace and integrate that part of ourselves that they represent. Welcome, Wanda, in Savannah. Savannah is a beautiful city, one of my favorite cities in the United States. In fact, you just inspired me that maybe on the way to Florida I'll stop down there on Sunday night. Do you have a guest room in your house? So your neighbor is yourself. So all these reflections of people that trigger us or bring up uncomfortable feelings inside ourselves is the opportunity to integrate and love that aspect of ourselves. And when we can see ourselves in every person, every feeling, every thought, every experience, when we can love it so intimately as our own self, in this moment right now, there's a liberation that comes into being. When you're not chasing this, running from this, hiding from this, reaching toward this. It's more of a open-hearted, open-minded, open-bodied, loving embrace, unconditional, a space of unconditional love, radical non-judgment, and unconditional gratitude for what's here and now. In this moment, right now. Y'all are so beautiful. I can see you, I can feel you. You know, the collective resonant, unified resonant field, when we come together like this, so beautiful, so powerful, so rich. Such appreciation and gratitude. And that leads us to our theme of the day. It's a good one. It's a really good one. It's a juicy one. I got a question last night from Robin in California asking me about the teachings of Eckhart Tolle and the teachings of Abraham Hicks and how the two go together. I'm not going to go into explaining the teachings. If you don't know them, don't worry about it. But I am going to go into addressing these two different aspects, which is what I would call self-realization, which Eckhart Tolle represents, and self-actualization, which Abraham Hicks represents, and how the two that seem different actually go together beautifully and seamlessly. There's a beautiful integration, and that's really what the essence, the cutting edge of the new paradigm of consciousness is this integration of self-realization and self-actualization. So I'm going to show you how these two come together beautifully that seem on the surface very different, and then I'm going to turn off this phone and get some fresh air and go for a walk, okay? So when you get to the essence of all the teachings of law of attraction, they're all pointing to the same essential truth at the core. I'm talking about the deep teachings, not the superficial, shallow, silly ones. But the deep core law of attraction teachings are all pointing at the same essential truth. That truth, the most essential truth, the most important truth, and the truth that most people look right past is this. Whatever you want to bring into your life, whatever you want to bring into your life, be that now. Like attracts like. When a resonant field is created, like resonance attracts like resonance. So the resonant field that you're emanating now, the vibrational frequency you're emanating now, you attract back to you. Right? It's pretty simple common sense. I don't think it's that difficult to understand. So when we're in a consciousness, a space of abundance, of profound, unconditional love, of freedom, of inner peace, of empowerment, when we're in a field of unlimited possibility, we attract back the frequency of the resonance that we are in this moment. Now. So the foundation of any law of attraction, any manifestation teaching is being here, fully present, in the highest vibration now. Here. To be in a state of fulfillment, Sylvia is correct, without attachment to that which we want. So to be in a state of fulfillment without the sense of lack or need of a future moment now. To be in a state of absolute fulfillment without the need for a future moment now. And that's only possible when you recognize and realize who and what you truly are. So, when you're in this state of absolute fulfillment now, you're in the state of being that which you want now. There's a little bit of a joke, sort of a cosmic joke that comes into being, which is, if I'm already in the feeling of what I want now, if I'm already in the vibrational frequency of what I want now, if I'm already in a state of absolute fulfillment and well-being now, then I no longer actually need the thing I thought I needed anymore, because I actually have the feeling now. I have the feeling of well-being now. So this is the big joke of law of attraction, that most people don't necessarily get the joke, that if you're in the state of well-being and fulfillment now, then what do you need? You don't need anything. The sense of lack consciousness goes. These sages, these wise beings, these high vibration awakened beings that people have appreciated their teachings or writings or words over the years. Did they need something? Were they lacking something? Were they pining? Were they searching for something? No, they're in the state of absolute well-being and fulfillment now. They're in the state of, Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Right? Buddha talked about nirvana being a state that's possible while you're alive, enlightenment, self-realization, a state that's possible here and now. So when you're in the state of absolute fulfillment and well-being now, you don't need anything. There's no lack consciousness. Abraham Hicks will make that point very, very clear. If you're in any state of lack consciousness at all, then you're not in the flow state. You're not in a state of what they call the vortex. When you're in a state of lack consciousness, you're not in what's called the vortex. So in order to be in this vortex, you need to be here, present, in a state of well-being and fulfillment now, which brings us to Eckhart Tolle, which is why what Eckhart Tolle teaches and what Abraham Hicks teaches, if you go deep enough, is the exact same thing. Exact same thing. They're pointing at the exact same truth. Being present, being in the now, is the foundation. So being in the state of self-realization is the more essential one. Being in the state of self-actualization is the secondary one that comes out of the more essential one. So being is that's what's most essential. Doing comes out of the being. Being is what's most essential. The doing, the action, the creation comes out of the being, which is the essence of who and what we are. So when I was going back and forth a little bit with Robin in California, she's saying, well, what about wanting, What about wanting? Abraham Hicks talks about wanting and wanting things. And I said, it's not so much a wanting from a sense of lack, like, oh, I need this, I must have this. It's more of a creating. It's an energy of creation. You're in the energy of creation. You're in the vortex of creation. You're one with the universal creative intelligence, also known as God, which is in the creation of each and every moment. And every moment becomes this extension, this expression of the most authentic sense of yourself, the most authentic sense of creation. You're creating each moment together. You're co-creating each moment together. So what we love, what we relish, what is the deepest sense of meaning and purpose and inspiration and passion for us is to be in this perpetual state of creation. That's where we feel most alive, most impassioned, most inspired, and most at peace. There's the sense of having both. So to be in this perpetual state of creation. What's created actually becomes not very important. It's kind of like a byproduct of being this perpetual state of creation, being this creative energy. Like when you're a life artist, you're in this flow every moment, every second. Think of yourself like, when you're in this state of creative energy, like if you when you're writing a poem, or you're making a painting, or you're dancing, making music, singing, or when you're in that incredible conversation, that sense of dialogue where it's like you're just in the flow together and you're just in the space of creative energy together. When you're in that space, it's like there's no sense of time. There's a timelessness. It's the power of now. It's a sense of being in the now so deeply, so fully, so completely that the egoic sense of a separate self disappears. And now you're a wide open, clear channel for this universal creative intelligence to move through you in this moment, and this moment, and this moment, and this moment, and this moment. So now, from the space of self-realization, the space of self-actualization moves through you. You can create tremendous things. You can create all sorts of magic and miracles and things that you never knew were even possible for you to do. And people go, how did you do that? How did you make that happen? And you don't know. There's a sense of humility, of a sense of something, what we could call a higher power, now moving through you, right? So this is why someone like Jesus would say, not my will, thy will, right? Something beyond me is moving through me. I'm not even trying to do it. I'm not making any effort. I'm not forcing it. I'm not struggling. I don't even know how it's happening. I don't even know how these words are coming through my mouth right now. They're just coming through. I don't know how it's happening. I'm not trying to make it happen. I'm not making effort, making any force. I'm a clear, wide open channel present in this moment for the creative energy to move through me. Boom! Now, like this, pow! And it just keeps happening. Every moment. Every moment. And there's nothing I need to try to make happen or try to do. I don't need to understand it. I don't need to know the best way it's supposed to be. I don't need to understand how everything's going to work out, how this makes happen. I just need to be present. I just need to be present in this moment. And even to say the word need can disappear. In being present in this moment, what we can call manifestation happens. Now, you ready for this? Do you want to know how to be in a state of instant manifestation? Do you want to know how to be in a state of instant manifestation? Yes or no? I want someone to type in yes before I go into this. That's what I want to instantly manifest. Someone to say, yes, I would like to know how to instantly manifest anything and everything. Thank you, Karen. How to instantly manifest anything. This is an amazing moment, right? For someone to reveal to you how to instantly manifest. Okay, a lot of yeses coming in now. Good, excellent. Lovely! Hey, what's up? Good to see you here. How to instantly manifest. So I looked into this question deeply, and I came to the most amazing realization. Because I've talking with some friends, and, we're getting closer. The manifestation, we're manifesting quicker and faster, and we're going to get to a point maybe we can instantly manifest. Maybe, maybe not. And when you realize that everything is happening now, which we've established over and over again in this series, everything is happening now, and there's nothing that's never not happening right now, then you come to the astonishing realization that it's like, we're already doing it. We're already doing it. You want to know how to instantly manifest? You're already doing it. Everything that's happening is actually our creation now. So then you think, why am I creating so much junk and nonsense and BS? Now that's a good question. So that's where we start to come from a state of unconsciousness to a state of consciousness, because we're creating a lot of garbage, And we can create beauty, we can create love, we can create freedom. We can create joy, we can create bliss, we can create communion. We can create whatever we want from a field of unlimited possibility. The essence is to be present, to recognize and realize it. Instant manifestation, we're already doing it. See, but when we start to become present, like here and now together, then things shift. It's like lucid dreaming. It's like waking up in a dream, like, wow, this is a dream, and I just woke up. And what do we want to do? What do we want to play? How do we want to play together? It becomes play. It becomes play. Manifestation, not from a place of lack, not from a place of need, not from a place of ego, not from a place of, this is going to improve the egoic story of myself, of a separate self. From a place of play, of co-creating. Someone wrote earlier, childlike, right? So innocent play. Yeah, people online together, what do we want to create? Let's play. Let's play. Let's pretend we're human for a little while. Let's pretend I'm a man and you're a woman for a little while. Let's pretend, let's play. Let's pretend we're superheroes. Let's pretend we're having some kind of a fight or a conflict between each other. And the word pretend, I'm just using playfully. Don't get too caught in the word pretend. They're coming from a place of authenticity, but recognizing and realizing the co-creative energy that's here. So we're unconsciously manifesting so many things, from what could be considered past karma or trauma or unconscious limiting belief system and thought patterns. But the more we open to the space of unlimited possibility together, and others, this is why the retreats I do are so valuable, the spaces where we join people in workshops or gatherings, because we start to come together with others who are on this path of opening to a space of unlimited possibility together. And this is so much more fun and so much more powerful when we come together in this space of unlimited possibility together. That's really what it's all about. Welcome, Naiti Saraf. Where are you from? Naiti Saraf says, life isn't happening to us, it's responding to us. We are manifesting every moment. Life is a looking glass. If you don't like what you see, change it, play the game. Beautiful. 1 point to that. Yes, we are creating everything ourselves. We take responsibility from it. And, awesome, what part of India are you in? And when I say we are creating it, you are creating it, not from the ego, not from the illusionary story of a separate self. And this is where a lot of law of attraction teachers go off base, is they're trying to actually, what they end up doing is reinforcing the illusionary sense of a separate self. I'm going to get this for myself. I'm going to get that for myself. I'm going to make this happen for myself. And then my life's going to be better. I assure you, your life is not going to be better. I assure you, your life is never going to get better. Did you ever have a life coach tell you that? Your life is never going to get better. The reason your life is never going to get better is because it's all here now. The sense of fulfillment and well-being is here now. It's in the abundance consciousness. It's not in a thing. There actually are no things. The material world is really a figment of our consciousness. We're going to get a lot more into that in the coming episodes. I want to talk more about science, talk more about sex, sexuality, talk more about relationships, romance, so many fun things ahead. But to recognize and realize that everything is here now, that there's nothing anywhere else, that there's nothing lacking anywhere else. If you can crack the illusion of time, you crack open the whole thing becomes open and available to you. If you can crack the illusion of time, the sense of linear time being real. Good morning, Diwana. Hello, Cheryl. I was in Delhi a couple years ago. I was actually there for the Holi. We're running around, throwing colors on each other. It was so much fun. Great stuff. Naiti says, very true. Need to remind myself that every moment tend to get distracted. It takes effort to put myself back together, disconnect from the ego. Yes. And be mindful of effort. Because effort is the ego. Struggle is the ego. Trying to force, trying to push, trying to make something different than it is coming from the illusionary sense of a separate self, the ego. So what we're interested in being in is the flow state, just a phrase, just a term, where it feels like we're connected and life is moving through us. The creative energy is moving through us each moment, and there's an effortless quality to it. But it transcends the mind. It transcends the sense of us thinking we know how it's supposed to be. Right? The moment reveals itself. Moment by moment reveals itself. We're opening up and letting go to what could be called a higher power. Right? Something, a vast intelligence beyond our limited ability to understand, to move through us, that's interconnected to all that is. Beautiful stuff. Anyone have any other questions or comments? I'm happy just to sit here and smile at you for a few moments. What's most healing is the sense of presence. When we're present together, this is what the essence of love truly is to really fully, wholly, deeply be present together. And out of this present moment comes the creative energy that can flow through us and express itself in this world from a field of infinite possibility. Sarah, my son's a teenager, and I'm discovering that that age is they're going through some things, right? Thank you, Kelly. So what I find with teenagers is there's moments where they're open and receptive to listen, and when you catch them in those moments, there's so much you can share. And there's moments when they're not open and receptive to listen, and when they're in those spaces, just kind of let them be and do their thing, and they're in this interesting space of wanting to move toward being autonomous and self-reliant, but not quite ready yet in different ways. And they're learning what ways those are, and we're learning what ways those are, and we can just be in a space of unconditional love and availability and support. I did talk to a group of teenagers a few years back. This is quite a few years back. A classroom of what are they called? Kids that are like troubled youth or something like that. There's a politically correct term. These were kids that were in, they had broken the law in different ways and things, and they were in this classroom, and I came and talked to them, and I was thinking about how to reach them. It was all boys. It was a group of all boys, and I started talking about Bruce Lee. Do you guys know Bruce Lee? You heard of Bruce Lee? Yeah, we heard of him. So I started approaching it from like martial arts, and they loved it. And then I got into like being present and being in a state of meditative. Bruce Lee, he meditates, and he's in a state of consciousness and presence, and he understands the flow of the Tao and the yin and the yang. So you just kind of, if you can find one connecting point that someone really resonates with, that they like, that they're interested in, you can kind of move in from that space. It makes all the difference. Sometimes the energies are overwhelming, says Naiti. Karen, I'm so excited every step of each part of letting go, huge life challenges, your pearls of wisdom came at such a significant time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Thank me so much. Thank life so much. Thank the universe so much. So you got the links at the bottom to plug in more deeply in any number of variety of ways, including the online course, the upcoming public events, life coaching, personal life coaching sessions, the books. Donate through PayPal. So grateful to share this moment with you. Feel free to keep sharing comments in the playback, and I'll stay engaged here in the thread. And I'll see you in the next Sweet Now.